Hi y'all, and welcome back to Being Crazy Custom Creations. Today's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to take you on my quilting journey process. So, I have a couple t-shirts that I saved just so I could show you the process of cutting them out. I got thread all over them. This is how I do my process. First of all, I'll get you down and I'll show you what I got. And I got all of this off of Amazon. Okay, I have cutting mats. I got 4 of them here. I have a cutting template that's 12 by 12 that I use to cut the t-shirts out. So, I've got a couple that I saved just so I could show you the process of cutting them out. Let me get them laid out here. These were t-shirts that belonged to my uncle. And I'm going to put them in somebody's. I don't know whose quilt, but someone's quilt. Alright. So, I laid the t-shirt all out. It's got laying hair on it, but that's okay. Lay it out as flat and as straight as you can. If you want to iron them, you can. I did iron all those that were my husband's because I needed to. They'd been folded up for so long. This one hasn't been folded as long. Now, I'd like to be able to get all of this in, but on a 12 by 12 block, I don't see that happening. It's going to cut it off. So I either got to go with the Johnny the Cash picture here for the 12 by 12 block, or go ahead and cut the block a little oblong. I may use these to make a pillow out of instead. But this is my process anyway. Just try and level it out. Now, I normally would start down here, but I'm not going to because I'm going to move the template down and get cash in there. So, first thing I want to do is take the rotary tool and I want to take the sleeves off. And I may need a new blade after all the t-shirts that I've cut with this. It may not cut too well. Okay, there's one sleeve. There's 2 sleeves. Okay. So now, like I said, I'm going to start here, go around the top, down to the side, but not all the way because I actually want to move the template down. Hold it down, run your rotary cutter next to it. You don't want to get the collar in it. Alright, so I'm going to start and, oops, I don't want to move it. I need to get my hand up here to hold it so it doesn't move. Okay. I got down to where it says cash. So now I just want to take my template. And let me turn you because you've gotten turned out of the way. I'm going to take my template and I'm going to just slide it straight down. Give me a little bit of space from below the the name here. And I'm going to go down here. I don't know where I started. I'm going to go down here and just cut. And hopefully I left it where it was, but I'm not going to guarantee I did. Take from here and go down and cut. Okay. Now, then take your cutter and go all the way across the bottom to the other side. Okay. It is going to make a little bit bigger, and I knew it was going to. Sometimes it doesn't cut all the way through. Let's see. Here's my scissors. So I just take my scissors and snip it. I think my blade's getting kind of dull. I'll leave the plain black patch because I don't know, I might need it for something. I might use it for a pillow because that's what I originally had planned to do with this shirt. And there's your block. It's all cut out. See? All cut out. Okay? That's one. I had two of them for his. I don't know. I'm thinking they're going to be pillows, but then here's a Kansas City Chiefs one that I had bought for my uncle one year for Christmas before, when he was still alive, before he passed. And it'll probably be a pillow because I don't know. Well, I might be able to get all of that in the block. I don't know. We just have to wait and see. Take your block. Try and, eyeball it and get it as even as possible. Alright. I'm not going to cut the sleeves this time because I'm going to cut them off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now what happened there? I don't know, it didn't cut. And I may save the yellow part on this too, because I actually might end up making pillows out of them. Any place where it didn't cut, you just take your scissors and snip it. It'll just be a little piece that didn't cut. And there you go. There's that one. Okay. So that's that's my first process there. Second process, get this up. Second process I would do would be I bought a roll of interfacing from Amazon. And I already have some left over that's cut in strips. But it doesn't matter. You could measure them strips and cut them And it probably would take you maybe, I don't know, 3, 4 to cover the block, the back of the block. These are just strips I have left. And I don't, let me get you down. I don't want to waste them. Because I bought a roll of it off. I wished I'd have gotten heavier, but I did not. So, then you just kind of overlap them. And I don't, that one's moved. Overlap them, because when you iron, you want them to not only stick to the t-shirt, but you want them to stick to each other. So you're going to overlap, trim it, and it may take 3 or 4 to go across there. Okay, and then just, let's go this way. Take another piece, overlap it. You don't have to overlap it a bunch, but you need to overlap it enough so it sticks to the other piece. Trim the excess off. You still might have a little more excess. I don't measure real good, so. Okay, on this one, you can either overlap it more till it comes to the end, which I'd rather do this way. This one I'm starting now is my second one. I have finished, I'll try and link the picture with the video. I have finished the king size one. This is a queen size that I'm starting now. I have 2 queen size to make. So I'm trying my best. I'll save this because I have to put it on the other t-shirt too. The reason for having the interfacing is to stiffen your t-shirt up so it's not so kind of flimsy, and it makes it stiffer. I'm not real sure how I'm gonna do this next quilt, because I had a rough time with the first one. It was such a big quilt. I'm gonna lay this over on the ironing board because it's gonna have to be ironed. But what I have already cut out and have not laid them on the floor yet is these. Alright, I have some 9x9s, and then I have some 12x12s, and a couple of them are bigger than 12x12s because I wanted to make sure I got the design of the shirt in there. So the next step, I mean, they've already got the interfacing ironed on them. The next step I would normally do would be to, and this is I don't know if I could even get you to where you could see what I was doing. And right now my room is a total disaster. If I can get enough stuff out of the way so I can show you how I normally would do it. I've got a quilt rack put up down here too that I need to use. I need to get it out of my way. Let me see how we're going to do this. I'm going to need my ironing board eventually. Alright, let me pause you for a minute till I get this straightened and ready to go. Okay, this is what I have so far. And I don't mean to jar you around, but I don't know that I can get the camera to show it all unless I pick it up. Alright. Probably need to walk back further so I can make sure the camera shows it all. That's what I have laid out so far. Now, what will probably have to happen is I'm going to have to come up with some strips of material for the top and the bottom. Because I may make a couple of other blank blocks like I'm going to make right now. Because I have, let me get over here and I'll show you. My husband had, he'd been going to Boy Scouts, going to camp with them for probably, I want to say, 21 years. Some of these patches will mean something to my son, my younger son, because he went to, most of the time, he was at camp with David, except for as he finished his Eagle, he did not continue to go to camp, but a lot of these will mean something to him. Different things that they did. Like I said, I need some blank squares so I can put these on it. And I'm just trying to get them laid out so you can get a good view of what I've got here. Because there's a lot of them, and I don't know that they're all going to go on there. But a lot of them will, because a lot of them were some that my son got when he was in camp with David. So, this has been a process, and it's been kind of a, I want to say a little bit of a healing process, because I've been working with this, so I've been trying to figure out what to do with all of these, and I think my youngest son will appreciate them. I did put some on my middle boys. I don't know, my eldest boy, I'm not sure what his quilt's going to be, because I can guarantee I don't have enough. That's all the quilting t-shirt blocks I have. Okay, let me see if I can get you down so you can see these. See what I'm saying? These are all scouting badges. Now, I'm going to do a blank block, and then I'm going to lay some patches out on it. And I think I may end up doing more than one. I may do 2 blank blocks, and just so I can incorporate a lot of these patches into it. Now, I did save some off of my son's scouting shirt also, but for some reason I put them upstairs in a bag and for safekeeping, and now I have no clue where I put them. So it may be something I'll have to sew on later if I run across them, and I'm hoping I will. But, like this one right here. Him and my son did the Katy Trail together. I know that's backwards, but it's Katy Trail. They did the Klondike together. They were in the tribe of Mikasay together. There's different years. Maintenance, another Klondike, all of these Klondikes my son went. Troop committee, he was on. These were different staff when he went down on staff. I put some of these on my other son's quilt. He's got like 2005, 6, 7, 14, 17, 19, 13. I mean, just different that I want to incorporate in the quilt for my son. I'd like to incorporate his too, but I have to remember where I put them first. Now, I'm going to show you my process because I got a blank block over there on my ironing board, and I don't know how well this is going to show, but I'm going to try and show you what I'm doing. You'll have to excuse the mess because it's pretty messy right down here right now because I've been working on quilts nonstop, trying to be finished before Christmas because I got a lot of other stuff I'd like to make for my granddaughters, and you know, most of that's going to be epoxy stuff. So I need to get that ironed on so that I can figure out some patches to put on it. May only hold like 3 or 4 big patches. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to go over there and show you what I'm doing. I might be able to zoom you in some. Yeah, that'll help some. Okay. All right. I have the block, so now what am I iron? Oh, darn it, I didn't turn it on. I'll turn it up to as high as it'll go because I need it to make sure that this adheres to that. And I will probably do, yeah, I may do one more block. I don't know. We'll see. Let my iron heat up some. Don't really want steam right now, but I will steam it just to get the wrinkles out of it, which is basically what I'm trying to do right now. Just get the wrinkles out of it so that I can iron on the interfacing to the back of it. And I've been trying to figure out things that I could do because I don't have a bunch of tablecloths, linen tablecloths left. Big linen tablecloths left from my wedding. I didn't realize that I ended up with them at my house until I was digging through a closet. And I can guarantee you those work well in the center of a quilt. If you can find the right size, they work excellent. Because that's what I did for my great-grandson's quilt that I made. Okay, so got all those ironed out. So I'm going to lay down I'm sorry, I wish I could get you closer, but it's probably about as close as I can get you. Right now I'm going to lay down these interfacing pieces and get them locked in. The one thing you don't want to do is you just kind of want to press down on it, because if you start wiggling your iron around, you're going to make some wrinkles in the interfacing, and you don't want to do that. So I just laying my iron down on it, heating it enough to get it to stick. Okay. Now, and you can tell the difference between the rough side of it, it goes face down, because that's the part that's going to stick. So, like I said, if you're going to use pieces, you want to make sure you overlap them enough so they stay stuck. If you have to trim some off, no big deal. You just want it to stay stuck. This will probably be part 1. I'm missing you guys. I'm missing doing my epoxy videos, but I really need to get these quilts done first. So as soon as they're done, I don't know, I may get this one about half sewed and do some epoxy videos just to have a little change of pace here, because I'm getting a little bored with this. Just trying to make sure I overlap these enough. And I thought I had them long enough, but maybe that one goes on the end. Well, it doesn't matter. I can trim some off of it as long as it's, I may have cut it a little over 12 by 12 because it was pretty stretchy. As soon as I get it ironed down to where it's stuck, then I'm going to, I really want to make sure I get the ends of it stuck too. And the pieces that are stuck over each other, I want them to be good and stuck. I may have to trim some off, but that's okay. Like I said, trimming it off's not that big a deal, because I found that out on the other quilt where I thought that I had measured correctly, and I'm pretty sure that I did. But the thing you can't take into account is the stretchiness of the t-shirts, because not all t-shirts stretch the same. Some are thinner, some are thicker, some don't stretch as well as others do. And that's what makes it very hard to do. Is you're not always gonna have the same t-shirt. I need a new ironing board cover, really. I just laid my little temporary covers over because, alright. Turn this off. And I'm going to come over here and show you what I'm going to do. And I probably will have to trim this block down, but alright. Let me get you back down here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is lay this block face up. And it is kind of out of whack, so it will need some trimming. My main focus is to get something that says, like this one. This is a tribal celebration, and it's pretty big. So, I'm going to sew it in the center. What else do I have? Trivamicase. I just really want to make sure that I keep them away from where the seams are going to be sewed. H.R. Bartle, 2004. That would be a time when he was down there camping. A lot of these Klondike ones would have been his. Here's a North Star Klondike. Here's a 1994 Klondike. I mean, really, I'm not really worried about necessarily how they look, because some of these might end up going on other blocks. Klondike 2001. Got two 1994s. That's North Star. This one is 2002. Let's put it right there. I do want the Katy Trail to be on there because I know they did the Katy Trail together. Can't move it too close, but I can move it over a little bit. Want the big one to stay in the middle. What else? 1998. Yeah, North Star. I'm not finished. That's just one block. So, I got a lot more to put on quilts. I just have to have some more blank pieces. This one's going to be actually pretty full. I may have to put that one up there. Move the Klondike one there. And put the little igloo one right there. But this is my process. Kind of thought that you guys might like to see what I've been doing. I'll put a picture of the other one that I finished. I'll put a picture of it up. It's done. I'm ready to get started sewing on this one. So I'll probably end up moving a block and putting this in kind of like the center. Down there towards the bottom or up towards the top, I'm not sure. Maybe even the middle. Kind of needs to make sure I trim it a little bit more. But that's the starting anyway, so I will, you know, I don't know that you'd be able to hear very well with me sewing, so I'll be getting started on this, and then maybe as I go I'll show you a row that I've got that I'm sewing together, or I'll show you a row after I've sewed it together, and try and keep you along till I'm ready to lay it out. And I kind of want to try something different. Normally I would put batting between it, but I kind of thought that I might try, instead of, because it's so hard to get it straight. It is so hard to get it straight. So I thought what I might do is cut some 12 by 12 blocks of batting and sew them on the blocks. By the time I get it all sewed together, it'll have batting all on it, and it'll be tight. That's the thing. When you get the batting in there, it's hard to get it tight. I used, on the other quilt, I used tablecloths, which I could use on this one too. I'm not sure this time I'm going to put a blanket on the back of it. That made it ridiculous. It just made it ridiculously heavy. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing for winters, because we usually have some pretty chilly nights in the winter. But trying to... I pity the one who has to wash it, because I washed it once. It's heavy. And it takes... My washing machine is at the capacity where it will wash a king-size quilt. The dryer took a little bit longer to dry, and it wrinkles up horribly. So after I did it, I thought, oh, why did you do that? That was so stupid. So I ended up taking the quilt and spreading it out on my ironing board, a section at a time, and starching it and ironing it back out. I don't want to do that with this one. I really don't. That was heavy, and it was hard to handle. So this time I want to kind of measure it, make sure I'm pretty close to the measurements I need to be at without adding some material. If I'm not, then I will add a piece of some sort of material between it. I'm not sure what kind of material. I'm thinking I got a whole bunch of camouflage material, so I might stick some camouflage material between it. I don't know. It's it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why I should have started in July. That's what I should have started in. Then I would have been a little closer to getting done. But this is what I got done for now. This is what the block with the patches is going to look like. It's going to go over there in that quilt that's set out on the floor. I'm trying to give you another good look at it. However, I did cut up. I did cut up about, let me zoom back out. I did cut up 70 Scout t-shirts. And that was a lot to cut up, really. It was horrible, but I did cut up 70. So, that's what I got for you right now. This is going to be part 1. Part 2 will be when I'm ready to start sewing it together, and I will show you that process. I need to measure it now and see what I'm measuring at and see how much, if I need to add material between them, I need to see what size. Because, you know, I'm overlapped on some sides, and I will have to trim the t-shirt down. I will have to trim them down once they're sewed. Because I'm not going to, last time I didn't trim them down, and when I was short, I added a piece in to make it even, make the rows even, and when it came to lay it down and lay it out and put the blanket on the back of it, I ended up cutting all of those rows that I had sewed on there to make it even. I had to cut them all off. So this time I'm just going to sew it and trim it off even. If I have to add material around the outer edge, no big deal. That may be what I do instead of adding it in the center. I may add the material around the outer edges of the quilt to make it a queen size quilt. And this time I have a queen size blanket to put on the back of it. I don't think I'm going to use it. I think I'm going to go get me a brand new queen size flat sheet. And that's what I'm going to use, with some binding around the edge. So when I get ready for that process, I will definitely bring y'all back along with me. I did get a couple more blessings, one of which I'm not sure who sent it to me because there's no message in the bag. I did do a blessing video, and I do have to put some people's names in the blessing jar. Cynthia with Crafts and More, Cynthia's Crafts and More. She sent me 2 gifts. Roseanne's Crafting Corner, she sent me a gift. Coral Marine's Resin Art, she sent me a gift. Miss Jeannie and Mr. Allen, I think, sent me 2 gifts. I'm pretty sure the other gift was probably from them too, because I don't remember ordering it myself. So I'll have to stick that video in, and I'll have to add those others into it. But right now, I'm in quilting mode. I have everything written down. I have all the little gift slips. I don't have the ones for the last 2 I got. So one of them I know for sure was from Mr. Allen and Miss Jeannie. And the other one might have been from Mr. Allen and Miss Jeannie also, but I'm going to have to ask her, because I know I didn't order it. But I'm going to pause you here, and when I get ready to get my sewing machine set up and ready to sew, then we'll come back. So I'm going to pause you for now. Hi y'all, welcome back. Alright, what I've done is I've got the bigger blocks now. Took a piece of batting, cut it to the size of the block. Now, I've never tried it this way, but there's always a first for everything. So, I don't know if I'm going to sew it on the block first, or if I'm going to just put it together and sew the blocks together with the batting. I'm thinking maybe I should turn this to a basting stitch, which might be fun. Because I've never used a basting stitch, so I don't know which one is which. So I'm gonna have to, let's see, I have to look. I just want to baste it on there with big stitches so that I can pull them out once I get the pieces sewed together. So we're going to try it this way first. Try and keep it even here. And any excess we'll just trim off after we're done. But right now I just want to baste it on there. Now, I think I'm going to have to figure out what the basting stitch is, or if I need to make the stitch position higher. Let's make it higher and see what happens. Well, 5's about as high as it'll go. And I wonder if I need to make the bottom the same size. I've never done this, so we're going to see what happens. So let's stitch it around the edge of this. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. I want to try and keep it together as much as possible, because I don't want it to be, I want it to be as tight as possible. Yeah, it's pretty big stitches, but somehow I got it, that thread caught there. There we go. This might work easier than trying to pin it, because if it's stitched to the block, then I think it's going to be an easier thing for me. I think that I can keep it tighter to the block. Okay, we're going to see. And these basting stitches can be pulled out later on if I want, or I can just leave them on there. I don't really know that they'll show. They may show, they may not. All I want to do is get this basted to the, as tightly as I can. I don't want any big wrinkles underneath. Trying to get some of this done so I can put this first part of the video up. I did, however, go ahead and sew the small, I wish I hadn't have, but I did. I sewed the small one together, which I'm not happy about now. Trying to figure out how I'm going to fix that. I'm not going all the way to the end, and then I'm just turning the block and trying to make sure that I don't have any wrinkles underneath. And that's when I like to sew fairly slow, so I can make sure that this is doing what I want it to do. And then we'll look at the back when we're done and make sure there's no wrinkles. My dogs are up there. One of them's irritating the other one, as usual. Alright. So now we are at the end. I'm going to do one reverse stitch. Take it out. I need my trash can over here too, because I don't want all these threads on my floor here. Alright. Actually, it looks pretty good, actually. It looks pretty tight. I don't see any big wrinkles. So I think what we'll do first is just go ahead and sew these to the blocks and then sew the blocks together. So here's another block. I'm getting another piece of batting here and get them matched up. And then sew them all to it first. And I'm trying to do this quickly because I know it's not really time yet for Miss Wanda's live, but I don't want to miss Miss Wanda's live again. So I know I missed it last week and I was busy working on that other quilt trying to get it done. So I don't want to do it this time. I don't want to miss it. So we're going to start towards the edge. And I am going to try and keep it pulled to one side so that I only have to trim one side off. So if I keep one side even, then I can always pull the other side out. Okay. And of course, what happens but the needle comes unthreaded. I don't know why. I usually try and make sure I have plenty of thread pulled out the back so I don't have to worry about having to redo my needle every time I turn around. Yeah, this one. I need to clip the end. I'm pretty sure it would be nice. I really maybe should have put the camera behind me so you could see what I'm doing, really. I'm just gonna have to find somewhere I'm putting the camera so it's behind me. That's gonna require some research on my part, but I could probably have something for you tomorrow. If you just want to leave your name, you just get it and I'll come back. Alright, let's try and get this pulled out of there. Okay. Let's go back again. How's it going? Not so good. You? Same. That is killing me. I keep trying to figure out this equation. It's like coming up jumbled numbers. Gotta keep these together here. And I'd say anybody who can sew a straight line can do this. Believe me, I'm not a big... I don't sew well. I sew well enough. So, Anybody who can sew a straight line can do this. I'm trying to keep it close to the edge here. As close to it as I can get. But I'm also trying to keep my piece of batting up where I want it. And it's kind of sliding it a little bit. Okay, let's try it again. Turn. Put your press foot down. Now, what I mainly want to do is try and make sure that I got this tight. I do not want... I don't know if this is going to work. I just think this would be... Whoops. Hold on a second here. Why am I... I shouldn't be having that. A gap. Okay. Turn. Hopefully I don't have a gap, but it's hard for me to tell. And a little bit of gap, I'm sure probably won't hurt you. You just don't want major folds in the batting back behind there. Because otherwise then you're going to have this big old fold in there, which you're not going to want. So I'm trying my best to keep it pulled tight. Keep this pulled down if it needs to be. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to make you, that'll be pretty boring. I'm not going to make you watch me do all of these. So what I'm going to do now, that I have 2 of them done, is I'm going to sew the 2 I had done together. You could take, like, you could take your iron. See, this one has kind of a wrinkle or a fold in the back of it. You could take your iron and kind of smooth that out. But what I'm going to do now is take these 2 and sew these 2 together. And I'm not going to end up matching end from end, but I kind of want to match as much as possible. Then I'll show you once we get it sewed together. I'm trying to match the 2 main pieces together. I'm not going to worry about the extra batting there, which I might, I don't know, I might have to trim off the excess of the batting, because I want to be able to see, the 2 pieces when I'm sewing them together. So I'm going to take and I'm going to trim off the pieces of batting that's sticking over, so I don't have this overflow of batting in my way. That one's done on that side. And then on this side, I'm going to trim it from here. sorry. I have my TV on, but I've got it turned low. I hope it's turned low enough. If not, just let me know, guys, and I'll turn it lower for the next video, because this is going to be probably the end of part 1, and then I'll start on part 2. Alright, so I got both ends trimmed, so now I can see my 2 pieces, and I can see one's a little bit longer than the other, which happens. Okay, and make sure I got enough thread pulled out so this thing doesn't do what it does. Alright, we're going to put this under there. And we do want to do a reverse stitch on this one now. Keep them together. I can see one block's a little bit longer than the other. We'll deal with that in a minute. Let's keep these together and get them set. What I want to do is I'm going to stop where the top block ends. Go backwards. Okay. Trim off all my excess pieces so I don't have to do it later. I do it now and throw them off in the trash. Now, I do double seams, so really what I want to do right now, what I'm looking at, let me get up and come over there so I can show you what I'm looking at. Okay, move this out of the way. Okay. So what I'm looking at right now is trying to see, because that one block seems to be bigger. And so I want to see, I want the blocks to match together. So wherever it is stuck over a little bit, I'm going to trim it off. And I'm just trimming the bottom block that's longer right along the edge of the top block so they'll be even. It's kind of hard to see with that batting there, with that batting stuck up there, but we're trying. I wish you could see what I'm doing. I don't know that you can see. Okay, this was the excess piece here. Okay, and we will probably try and trim off this excess batting here. That way we won't have to do it when we get to the next row. The top here, it looks actually it looks pretty flush. Let's try to trim this off here. Right now I'm just trimming off the excess batting that's sticking up from where I sewed it. So there's those two pieces sewed together. Already got the batting on them. That one seems to be, that's that one that had a wrinkle in it, so I may have to unfold that and smooth it out. But there you go. Let me turn it this way here and up. Alright, here's the two blocks sewed together with the batting sewed on the back. Now, I only did one stitch down this seam. I will do two, double stitch, because I always do. That way it's less likely to come apart. And we did kind of cut off that, but we may have to undo this one, because I see a little wrinkle in the back of that one, and I don't really want it there. But let me do my second seam on this one. And then I think I've showed you that process. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to put the camera, I need to put the camera back behind me somehow, so you can see me sewing, or see what I'm doing when I'm sewing. So I gotta figure out how to put it. Yeah, maybe. You know, I'm afraid to use a ring light because I'm afraid that'll be too much light. So I don't really want to use the ring light. Those two blocks locked together. Like I said, I do have a, alright, where did I do have a kind of a buckle in that wrinkle in that big old, but I will probably take that one out, maybe, before I sew the next block and pull it out, because I don't want the wrinkles. That was my whole. Well, I think that's going to save time and me having to waste my time trying to put the batting in there. I like the way it's turning out, really. Okay, so let me do shout outs before I end this part one. When we come back for part two, I think I'll try and get most of the blocks sewed, and then we'll come back for part two and I'll show you how to sew the row, how to put the rows together. The blocks are pretty simple. I mean, you know, you're just sewing them together. I added a complication by putting the batting in there, but I think that's going to be an easier thing for me. The batting will be there, and I won't have to stretch it all out across the whole blanket, pull it tight. I'm not a professional quilter. Let's put it that way. I'm not. I do it whatever the best and easiest way is for me. So, let me do my shout outs. Wanda's Blessed Creations, Stacy, the underscore, the Crafty Cat. Thank you, Stacy. My best friend loved her mug. She thought it was hilarious and loved it. So, thank you. My list is over there. I mean, I know some of them that are on there, but alright. Then I have Res C Liz, India Brady Art, art by me, Andrew Walker. Billy Holman Creations. Cosmic Carol Creations. Paranormal Girl, Artsy Doodles. Roseanne's Crafting Corner. Coral Marines Resin Art. Beck's Crafts Designs. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see my list here. From over here, it's a little hard to do. Hold on, let me get it here. Okay, where am I at now? Loose Screws Crafting with Carla. Cynthia's Crafts and More. As Amy's Resin Corner. And I started watching another one, but I can't. I want to say Southern Lady. I don't know what the rest of her channel name is, but I'll get it put on my list for the next video. Bye for now. We'll be back when I get ready to start sewing the rows together, and I'll show you. So bye. Alright, welcome back to Being Crazy Custom Creations. I'm Miss Francis, and this is part 2 of the quilting process. I sewed the quilt batting, and this time I did it on the back of each one of the squares, because that way I could get it tight enough, there's no wrinkles, it looks good. So I'm going to do the same. It's not as big as it should be, so I'm going to have to add material to the top and the bottom. So I'm going to show you what I got, and then I'm going to take the 2 pieces of material that I have, and I'm going to add the batting to the back of them, and then sew them to the quilt. And this time I'm not going to use a blanket. It just makes it way too heavy. So I have a gray colored sheet, which I'm going to iron out, starch it, iron it out, and lay it down and get ready to put it together. And then I guess I'll show you the finished product when I get it put together, because I'm not going to bore you with all the sewing. Like I said, if you can sew a straight line, you can make a block quilt. It's not that hard. So let me show you what I got. Sorry about moving the camera, but that's the only way I'm going to be able to show you. Alright. This is what I have. And I'm having a hard time. There we go. Alright. That's it. I have one edge over there on that end that's not even, which I'll have to, I don't really want to trim the t-shirts, but I'm going to have to trim the last 2 and even them up. And then, I don't know, I may put blue on both sides. It'll make it a little wider, but it would make it look framed in the blue. I don't know, but that's what I've got so far. I'm going to get the batting on the back of the blue pieces and then sew them to the quilt. And then, I don't know. And then after I look at it from there, see if I want to go ahead and add the blue to each side and just make it look like the whole quilt is framed. The black. Welcome back. Sorry about that. My cousin was, Miss Jeannie was calling me right in the middle of my video, so, you know, I'm sure y'all heard bitch alert, bitch alert. That's her ringtone. It's a It's a joke between the two of us. So, I did end up framing the whole quilt in the blue material. And I haven't got it laid on the floor. It would look better if I could show you a better picture of it if it was laying on the floor. But I've already got it up on the quilt rack. I'm getting ready to do the tie off between the layers so that it doesn't come apart. Well, it won't come apart, but so all the layers are tied together. Let me see if I can show you what I got here. And then I'll show you when I get finished tying it all together. Alright. That's what I have. It's all framed in the blue material. I did put a sheet on the back of it. And all I have to do now is tie these off. Tie the corners off. And maybe even the centers. And if I can find his other patches from his scout shirt, I will sew them on there. Plus I have, quit spinning, camera. What the heck? Plus I have, some made with love, little patches that I want to sew on each quilt. Now, I'll be starting, as soon as I get this one finished, I'll be starting the last one I have to do and getting it done. Hopefully it'll be easier. The blocks are all cut out. All I got to do is sew them together and put it all together and put a back on it, tie it off, and I'm done with it. I don't have to, hopefully I won't have to do any cutting unless it's not big enough. Then I may have to cut a few more blocks. But that's what I got done. I got so many new molds to do. And I really want to get back to doing resin, but as soon as I get that last quilt finished, I got lots of resin projects in mind for my granddaughters. So, because I have one grandson and 4 granddaughters and 1 great-grandson. So I got, and my great-grandson's birthday's coming up in November, so I got to figure out something. I got to make him I got to crochet him a Minion hat, because he's into Minions. So, that I might show you when I get it done. If you know how to crochet, you can YouTube it. That's how I found it. I YouTubed it and found the pattern for it. If you look up, and I keep forgetting to put that Facebook link in there. If you look up Beadin' Crazy on Facebook, you'll see I have a Facebook page. Now, I don't know if I've got it set up so people can post pictures of their stuff that they've made, but if I don't, I will fix that, because I really would like to see other stuff that people have made. But, yeah, I haven't posted any pictures of the quilts on there yet, because I'd like to get all 3 of them finished first. So, bye for now. I'll be back when it's all tied off and done, and I'll lay it out on the floor so I can get you a better picture of it. But bye for now. Alright, I'm back. I have the quilt all tied together and laid out on the floor so I can get you a good shot of it. And then I'll be on to the next one. Alright, I can't get back any further because of this stupid... Alright. There's the quilt. It's all tied off, all tied together, sewed. I have some more patches of my son's that I want to sew on there, but I gotta find them first, because, you know, I'm really I'm really good at putting stuff away, putting it up to keep it put up, but not real good about remembering where I put it. I mean, I did put them up, but I'm not sure where I put them. So, let me do my shout outs. Shout outs are Wanda's Blessed Creations, Stacy _ the Crafty Cat, Rez C. Liz, India Brady Art, Art by Me, Andrew Walker, Billy Holman Creations, Cosmic Carols Creations, Paranormal Girl, Artsy Doodles, Roseanne's Crafting Corner. My prayers still go out to you, Roseanne. You seem to be doing okay, but my prayers go out to you for losing your father. Coral Marine's Resin Art, Beck's Craft Designs, Loose Screws Crafts, Crafting with Carla, Cynthia's Crafts and More, and Amy's Resin Corner. Now, hopefully, well, let me get the bag over here and I'll show you what the next quilt's gonna look like. I was gonna make him a fancy quilt, but I will, but I don't think he's gonna get it for Christmas because I don't think that's gonna work. Put that one over the. Okay. To be there for you. With a dual complete plan, you can have a wide choice of doctors to choose from. $0 copays on all covered prescriptions. Alright, I have all these blocks. Can't see Jeeps. And that's what my son's blanket's going to be made out of. I don't know what I'll put on the back of it, but I'm going to sort the blocks out and get ready to get them sewed together and get a back put on it, make him a pillow. So, that's the next one. And once it's done, then I'll be back to resin. Yay! Because quilt mode, kind of getting tiresome. Kind of sucked, but I'm getting there. I mean, I can't believe I've cranked out 2 and the month ain't over yet. So I just got to crank out 1 more and then I can start on gifts for the girls for Christmas. And for my grandson. I always have a hard time trying to figure out something resin-ish to make for him. I never know. Might be easier just to buy him a little resin kit and let him make his own stuff. Because I did that one year for their birthdays and they loved them. They made themselves night lights and all kinds of stuff. So I may just buy him another one of the resin kits and let him do that. Because he seemed to like doing it. So that's it for part 2. I may shoot a picture of this one, but this one's pretty simple. Blocks go together and you put a back on it, same as this one. But I will end up posting a picture on Instagram and my Facebook page, which I need to get linked to that, and TikTok. But hopefully the next video I see you for will be resin! Alright, bye for now, guys. Hey y'all, welcome back to Beaten Crazy Custom Creations. This is Miss Francis, and this is still part 2 of the quilting. I've got 2 quilts finished. I'm working on the 3rd one. I'm about to get ready to put the back on it, so I'm going to show you what I got so far. So, sorry about the wiggling around of the camera here. Alright, this is what I have. It is fleece. It's Kansas City Chiefs. It's kind of a joke for my oldest one, because he was born and raised in Kansas City, so he now lives in Blue Ridge, Georgia, but he was born and raised here. So, that's sewed together and that's finished. It is 60 wide by 80 inches long. Now, today I had to go, today I had a fun job what I was trying to actually find was another long piece of Kansas City Chiefs, just the Chiefs material, so I could put it on the back. And Walmart had it, but I needed like 8 yards. Walmart didn't have 8 yards. They had 6. So I went to Hobby Lobby, and I ended up having to buy yellow fleece because they didn't have any Chiefs fleece. So now I'm getting ready to flip it over, get the back pinned to it, and get it sewed together. It's not going to be a heavy quilt, but they don't get real cold winters there in Georgia like we do here. So I think it'll be plenty warm enough for them with fleece on the front and fleece on the back. So I will not bore you with all the pinning and cutting and sewing. I will come back when it is finished and show you what it looks like when it's done. So I'll see you when it's done. Bye for now. Hi, welcome back. I'm done. The last one's finished. Now I got to do some tie off on it, but it's done. So let me get you over here so you can see. It's all done. It's all sewed. I made a pillow to go with it. So, finished. Kansas City Chiefs blanket, finished. I don't, it's 11:55. Almost midnight. Yeah. I still have to do some tie together to tie through there to make sure both blankets stay together, but that's all I have left to do on it. I'm going to try and get this, it'll probably get uploaded tomorrow because I'm tired tonight. I think I'm going to just go let my dogs out. I got one up there whining now. Go let them out and go to bed and load that video in the morning. It'll be parts of this blanket here and the other quilt that I did before that. So it's part 2 and actually kind of part 3 because that one's done now, or will be done. I just got to do the tie off, and I'm not gonna bore anybody with that. But let me do my shout outs here because I haven't done that. I always do them at the end of every video. Wanda's Blessed Creations. Stacy _ the Crafty Cat. Stacy, you need to let me know. I haven't seen an invoice for the last two mugs or tumblers. Resi Liz, India Brady Art by me, Andrew Walker. Billy Holman Creations. And I think Billy's she's gonna change her name or hers. I think she's debating on it. So let us know, Billy, when you get it changed. Cosmic Carol Creations, Artsy Doodles, Roseanne's Crafting Corner, Coral Marines Resin Art, Beck's Crafts Designs, Loose Screws Crafts, Crafting with Carla, Cynthia's Crafts and More, Amy's Resin Corner. So, that's it for tonight. Thanks for hanging with me on the quilts. I can't wait to get back to doing resin. My first project's laying over there on the table now, but I'll have to do some major cleanup in here so I could move around before I can get it started. But I'll probably start it. I'll try and start it tomorrow, but I might not get it started till Saturday because I had to do a lot of cleanup in here so I can move around. Alright, guys. Good night. See you on the next video. Bye for now.